Hello, my name is Rachel and I love crafting. So, as you guys know, a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago now, I think it was a few months ago now, I purchased this XTOOL F1 laser engraver, and it's like their smallest laser engraver, because I just wanted to see if I actually liked laser engraving before I really invested money in it, because what I really wanted was their P2, and they just recently released a P2S, which is the P2 but with improvements. And I did order it because I've been loving this so much. So I ordered the one that I really wanted, which is huge. It's going to take up almost this whole kitchen table here. So that's why I got this new rack, so I could put my F1 on that. And then when the P2 comes in, I can put the P2 here, and I'll be able to have my lasers back to back and be able to work both with the small and the large laser. I'm really excited. Can't wait till it gets here. But because it was a new release, and I really wanted the gray, but I ordered the white because shipping was delayed until middle of October. And if I had ordered it when because I had a special deal for being like an early bird order, I would have gotten it while I was on vacation if I gotten the gray. So that's why I ordered the white, because delayed shipping. Anyway, whole story is I'll be getting a white one. It'll be here by the end of October, I think, because it should be shipping soon. It's supposed to ship sometime mid-October. But anyway, with the F1, I'm just rambling. With the F1, the one that I do have, I bought the kit. I also got the kit with the new one. But the kit comes with a rotary attachment, which is for you can do cylindrical objects like mugs and cups and tumblers, and also some rings, like small finger rings. But I haven't even unpacked the rotary attachment yet. But I did find these powder coated steel wine glasses. I got a really good deal on them. They're from Temu, but they're from a US Temu seller. Because Temu is kind of like Amazon, that it's a huge marketplace with tons of different sellers. And this was a US based seller. And I got it super quick because it was a US based seller. I think I got it in like 3 days because they were in maybe New Jersey or something like that. But what was great about that was I had a bunch of Temu credits. So I was able to get a really good deal on these little wine glasses. I also have this color, the aqua color. So I want to figure out, and I got 12 of each of these. It was really neat because they also come with a little, each one has a straw and a little straw cleaner that comes with it. But yeah, it was great that I was able to get the benefits of a US seller, so quick shipping and supporting someone in the US while being able to use all those Temu credits that I had been acquiring. And so yeah, like I said, got a really good deal on those. They were already marked down more than these types of cups usually are, and then when I had all those credits on top of it, I just got them for like a steal. But anyway, moving on. So what I'm going to finally do is learn how to do cups. Finally going to learn how to do cups. So we're going to unbox the rotary attachment. I've tried to watch some videos on this and they all look very complicated, so I'm really nervous. But here we go. I still have the kit also came with a conveyor belt. Like I bought the kit because I really wanted an air purifier, and it was like if I bought these two separately, it would have been about the same price as the entire kit. So it was like getting these other accessories for free. So that's why I did the full bundle. But yeah, I still haven't unboxed the conveyor belt either. We'll do that another day, maybe. Alright, so opened it up, and there's just a lot of foam here and another separate box. Like, I'm not sure why there's like this. There's like a divot here, but there's nothing there, and then there's this foam. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe the instruction manual was here and I took it out, because like when I did the initial unboxing, I opened this box, looked at it, and then put everything away. Give me 1 minute. So yeah, that's exactly what happened. There was a booklet. That's why there's this divot here. There was an instruction booklet, because I was like, that's weird that they would just have this piece of foam there. But there was an instructional booklet, thank goodness, because like I said, I've been watching videos and it seems very confusing to me, so hopefully the booklet will help me out. And then get this piece of foam off, big foam block there. And you can see there's just so many pieces. There's so many pieces to this thing. And there's a lot of like assembly and disassembly that needs to be done depending what you're doing. You can see there's more bits and pieces here. I don't know what all this stuff is. There's even more down there. So let's start here. Put you over here for the time being. Shove all that over there. So in this main component, we have some cords that have these types of ends to them. So I'm not sure what that'll be for. We have two screwdriver type things, but they're like, you know, multi-sided, like looks like octagons maybe, just in different sizes. And here are some, I'm not sure what any of the stuff is yet, like little screws and like, I guess these you could put in there to maybe put the rings on or something. Another little baggie of random screws. A level, because you're supposed to have your cup level before you start engraving on it. And these cups might give me problems because they're not even, they're tapered a little bit, so that might mess up your focus, but we'll see what happens. Apparently there's tricks to that. This is the cord that I believe hooks it to your F1. And like the different machines have different cords to hook it to that machine. Like these XTOOL rotaries, I believe you can use across the machines. You just need to have the right correction cord or connection cord. But like this one won't work for, say, if you have the S or the, I forgot what the other machines are, like MD, I forgot. But anyway, P2. So this is another random cord. There's a lot of electrical cord type things here. This piece of foam comes out, and then this whole thing is here. You can see this has the rollers already installed, but I think for these types of glasses we need to do the chuck. So I'm gonna have to read the instructions for all this. Down there. And then this, I think, is for, I think it might slide in there somewhere and is for tightening things. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what all this stuff is. In here we have, I think these are the grippers. Yeah, I do remember these from one of the videos I saw. These are various grippers. And then they do include a measuring tape because you have to measure like the circumference of your cups. And then this is the chuck key, which will tighten and loosen. And here's a few more parts that I'm not 100% sure what they are. This I think is the motor that rotates because it's got the little belt. As I throw the belt on the ground. But yeah, see, it has a little belt. So that's the drive device for when you use the rotating version. All right, so we have the list of attachments. Like, so this thing is actually called a support module. This big thing was the rotary attachments. And then it's just like all the other little accessories, all the cords, connection cables, components. There's just so much, guys. I'm a little nervous about this. I'm a little like unsure about this, but I'm going to go look at this booklet a little bit to try and get an idea of what I'm doing, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone through the booklet, which is a little confusing. I figured a few things out. Let me go over those few things. I'm still not completely there, but I just want to go over those few things. First, it comes installed with the rollers. And I'm not sure what you would use rollers with, and you can move this roller in to make it smaller, but I'm not sure what you would use rollers with as compared to, because see, this would spin this as well, versus the chuck, which this goes into. I'm not sure which you should use for what. There really doesn't seem to be a lot of explanation, but I feel like everyone online I've seen has used the chuck instead of the rollers. So we're going to take the rollers off and put the chuck on. To take the rollers off, on the bottom here, there's 2 small screws that'll take these things off. And then the confusing part, this one just comes off once you do that. But this one, there's 2 holes up in here that you got to get those 2 screws out as well to get this roller off. And then the next part would be, you got to put this little thing in here. And this was super confusing because when I first got it, it would not fit in there. These things, it has these 2 little things on it. And I'm like, how are you supposed to make that work? And the pictures don't really explain any of this to you. But you have to take the smaller of the 2 screwdriver type things. And those are little screws that you tighten in until they're in far enough that you can put it in there. And then there's this hole on the bottom. You've got to flip them to where you can get in there and then tighten them. And then once you've tightened them, you can demonstrate with the roller. I don't know if you can see this, but that way when this turns, you see the rollers are turning. So I guess you would need this whether you're doing the rollers or not, because you'd have to hook up the belt thingy to make these turn. But yeah, so that was, I feel like there wasn't any explanation on that at all. I just figured that out with a little bit of trial and error, but let me try and get this together. I'll be right back. So another thing I just discovered, which might be useful to know. So the 2 little things that you have to unscrew here, they're not screws that come completely out. They are these tiny little threaded things that you basically use just to tighten when you have this in there. So this piece doesn't come off and those pieces don't come completely out. You just want to loosen them enough that you can pull that rod out, and then you would just tighten them again if you're putting the rod back in. And also it jumps back and forth from the 2 sizes of screwdriver. They're very close in size. I think it's like a like 1 and 1.5 or 2 and 2.5, something like that. Anyway, they're very close in size, but it does keep jumping back. Like I had used the larger one for these bottom ones, and then I had used the smaller one for these. So it's a lot of jumping back and forth there, but I just wanted to share that real quick because that's something else that might trip you up a little bit if you're like, why won't this silver thing come off? It's not supposed to. And let me keep moving on. So next I was putting on this thing, and in your little baggie of screws, there are 2 screws that are slightly longer than the rest. And those screws drop down into these holes. I've already put one on, that's why it's on, but they drop down all the way down into here, and then you can just got to get them all the way down to the bottom and then tighten them from there. Okay, got both of those on nice and tight, and then your belt wraps around here, and then you're gonna have to stretch it to get it around this small thing, which isn't easy. It's like, how do I stretch the belt all the way over here? It doesn't want to stretch. I don't want to break it. Okay, give me 1 second to get that figured out because I don't want to break it. Okay, that was a chore. I was afraid of breaking it because it doesn't like have much, doesn't have any stretch to it really. So what I actually wound up doing was I was able to put it on here, and then I was able to loop it on just the top part here, and then I just spun this until it caught and popped on. So that was a bit of a trick. That wasn't super easy. Oh, I just realized in the instructions they're telling you to hook the conveyor up first, then screw it in. I should have paid closer attention there. That would have made more sense because it just needed to get over that lip, and that wouldn't have been a problem if I put it on first and then put it in position and screwed it in. So yeah, I went about it the hard way. There is an easier way to do that. Good to know for next time. So next, the chuck key goes in, I believe, into one of these holes there. Yeah. And then you can, that turns, that gear turns, if you can see that gear turns this gear, and that in turn will open and close these things right here. And they're individual, so there's 3 different holes. There's that one, oops, I'm turning the wrong thing. And then you have to do that individually for each one. So it's not like on my drill, I can just do it and they'll all open and they'll all close together. With this, you've got to do them individually. So that's interesting. But it does have the 3 holes for the 3 different positions. And those 3 different positions are where we would screw on these little grips. So again, if you can see, there's 3 positions there, and then each one gets 2 screws. I don't know if they slide on, but basically like this, and we'll screw them on. I'm going to, there's the 2 types. There's these little step ones, and then there's these more solid ones. I think I'm gonna try the, maybe I will try the step one. No, I'll try the solid ones. I'm gonna try the solid ones. Just wanted to show you real quick, these metal things that I wasn't real sure what they were earlier were what I was suspecting. There's like 4 holes here on each of these, and you can just screw it into one of those 4 holes. Like if I could do all 3, and then that would be small enough to hold an actual jewelry ring. So you could engrave a ring. So that's really cool. But I'm doing these, although I think I'm putting them in the wrong hole. It shows putting them in the last 2 holes, and I've got them all the way in, but we'll see if that works. I'm not sure if that matters. I feel like that should just be a matter of, like, you know, choice. But let me go finish putting those on, and we'll go from there. I was wrong. You can tighten and loosen all of them at once with just the 1 key. So it's all going in, get it back out, and I'm going to try and get one of my wine cups in it and see how this works. Alright, I took the lid out of the wine cup, and I'm shoving it in here, and I'm tightening it up, because it was able to get large enough for me to fit the wine cup. If I moved it out further, I would have been able to get a wider mouth cup in here, and I think it is meant to be adjustable that way, because I had them in a little bit more than the instructions were telling me. So you can move them out further because you got those multiple holes. So you can do something with a slightly wider mouth than what I have here. So I tightened up the jaws, and you can see that's being held in there rather well. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work, because it's not a flat surface, it's slightly curved, so that might mess things up, but I don't know yet. I'm gonna have to take you guys around to the front, to the F1, so we can figure the next parts out. Oh, and by the way, the booklet just stops there. It's like, okay, now you know how to switch back and forth between the rollers and the chuck. That's all the information you're getting. So we're gonna go figure the rest out. I'll have to check and see if I have other information. Maybe I have another booklet somewhere. Figure it out. Okay, so before we would go back over there, I just figured out there is only 1 port that anything gets plugged into, and there's 3 cables, and I just figured out what the 3 different cables are is to attach to the different machines, so they can send the same kit out regardless of which machine you have. So I would be using this one, but I would not need these 2. So I'll just put those to the side. Now we're going to go to the other side. Okay, so here we are at my F1. I haven't turned anything on yet, but I just wanted to show you one end of the cord, of course, goes into the rotary tool, and then the F1 uses, I think this one. I think I got the right one. And then there is, yes, it looks like it matches. Right here on the side is where it's supposed to plug in. Let's see if that actually works. Okay, yes. Like the other attachments, like the air purifier uses a standard like USB-C, but this looks like just a USB, I guess. Like it's not quite a micro, maybe it is a micro USB. Anyway, it uses this type. It's got a little bit more shape to it than the USB-C. I don't know if that's focusing, but whatever. Where this does get attached though is right here on the side. I did confirm that. So it goes right here on the side. And also you have to take out this plate. There's a plate here in the bottom, which is really cool because you can also move your machine on top of something, like if you wanted to, and say engrave on top of your table. Obviously you can't fit your table under here, so you could take this plate out and move the machine on top of your table and do your engraving like that. But as you can see, I've engraved my plate a lot. And that's always mistakes. Like a couple of them were from experimenting with clear things. Well, it just goes through the clear, doesn't touch the clear at all, and engraves on your base plate. A couple of them were just not having my settings right. But it doesn't really matter. Anyway, but you need to take that out because you need that to balance your XTOOL here. And put this up. And you can only go so far in, I guess, because it's got to be back, but it's also got to be in. So maybe this would go over here. I think for these wine glasses, this is good. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to put the shield all the way down, but I do have safety goggles, so that's not a concern. I have separate safety goggles for that. So I guess the next step is trying to figure it out on the computer, because I've got to set up the perimeter and all of that, like all the settings over there and what I'm going to engrave on here. So wish me luck on that. So just a couple of things. There are these two lines right here on the F1 that you want to make sure that this is lined up with, the edge of your chuck is lined up with. And also, because I have this uneven cup, it's not a straight cylinder, it's got the wine glass taper. I put some pieces of acrylic to lift up the base plate so that when I put the little balance on it, it's pretty close to even. So I think that should work for us. It's not over here, but that's where there's a lot of curve, but the main part up here, it's pretty close to even. Now I just got to figure out the computer stuff. Okay guys, so these are the settings I am trying. This is in millimeters. Somewhere in settings I can change this to inch, but I've just never done that, so I'm slowly learning the metric system. But they did include the measuring tape, so I measured the extra one. I currently have it, you can set it up for perimeter or diameter. So I set up for diameter, which was 27 millimeters. I think. I'm still working on that centimeter millimeter thing, but I do know that a 98 millimeters is roughly 4 inches. So I was going off of that, and I measured on here. So the 27 millimeters would be 27's there. So flip it over, and that's just over 10 inches total, so that makes sense. So I'm going to try and do this 4 inches long. Maybe I should go for half of the cup 5, and I'm just going to stick with 4 for now. We'll see how this works out. Now it is important right up here, click there, because it was initially, it's on process on base plate, and you need to have that on your accessory, and then we're using the chuck rotary. So, and I've got to put my diameter back in, which was 27. Okay. And then this little arrow here tells you the direction it's rotating in. So that's the top of the cup, and it's going to rotate that way if I did this right. So I had to flip my thing this way. So many things, so confusing. I'm starting with the blue light. I'm going to do the blue light at 90 power, 500 DPI. This is probably going to take a while, but I want to get that coating off, and then I'll go back and do it again with the infrared light, the IR laser, to clean it up. So these are the settings we're going to try. Wish me luck. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a framing real quick. Now you can see, and my lid doesn't go up any higher, but hopefully you can see that my dots are as close to on top of each other as I can get them. Like, oops, actually there we go. My dots are now all on top of each other, so it's now in focus. And I just wanted to show you framing real quick. So you can see that's where it's going to be putting the logo. So, and I can only push this down about there. But, I mean, I could move that in a little bit further. I've got a little bit more room before this hits there. I'm not sure I have this in the right place. Oh my goodness. I'm hoping for the best here, guys. Like, I'm pretty sure that's where the laser will start. Let me get my glasses on, and we're going to start this and see what happens. Okay, guys, so I've hit process and start over on the computer. I'm wearing my safety glasses because a lot of this is not being covered. And I'm just going to hit that button, and I'm just going to go for it here. Okay, guys, so I really messed this up. You can see it's wrapping all the way around the cup. I screwed up the measurements. I made my picture the 98 millimeters long that I knew is 4 inches, and this is 10 inches diameter, but I put in 27 millimeters because it's 27 centimeters. It should have been 270 millimeters around. So it thought I had in something that's only 27 millimeters wide, and then I printed 94 millimeters on it, so it just kept printing it in circles around it. So I really messed up all of that. My math was way wrong. I'm not learning the metric system as fast as I would like, but we're going to give this another go. As you can see, I also have, when you can't have this all the way down. Oh, that was my first mistake too. I pushed this down too far, so it couldn't rotate. So I had to make sure that was up high enough to allow for rotation. And then, of course, without the lid on it, oh my God, boy, can you smell the burning, which I'm sure is very unhealthy. So I went and grabbed my little air respirator thingy that I use when I'm doing resin, and my safety glasses are right here because, you know, the light. So there's a lot to take in when you're doing this. So we're gonna try one more time, but let me go correct my measurements. Okay, so I got my measurements correct, and it came out really good. Now I did one pass with the blue light I bumped it up to 100% power, and then I did a second pass with the infrared light, the IR light, also at 100% power, and then I cleaned it off with a generic Mr. Clean sponge. What are these things called? Magic eraser. So this is just a generic magic eraser and a little bit of alcohol, because I read that that's good for cleaning these off, because there's going to be a lot of like dust and stuff on them because, you know, basically what it's doing is it's removing that powder top coat, so, and exposing the to different degrees, exposing that steel underneath. And the difference in the coloring of the letters there is intentional. That was part of the design. So that's not, it didn't have problems with that. That was just the way the design is set up. But I think this came out really good. In case what you're wondering, this year's Beach Week that Bryant is throwing is Resident Evil themed. So that's why we have Tribella Corporation here. And the vacation is always water temple of some sort. So, but yeah, no, this came out great. I'm really happy with this. This was actually a little easier than I thought it would be. The chuck worked great. Once I made sure this wasn't stopping it from rotating, it rotated perfectly. Got my measurements right. Everything came out great. So yeah, I'm super happy with this. So yeah, let me know what you thought about this rotary attachment thing down in the comment section below, and if you have any questions about what I did here, please ask me down in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to help with that. I was learning today. I hope you learned along with me, And thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, of course, you can give me a thumbs down, and please tell me all about it also in the comments below. And please subscribe to the channel. And I hope everyone is just staying happy, healthy, and safe in this incredibly crazy world we're living in. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.